hot out. It was 94 degrees here today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the chat.
I don't see anyone claiming firsties.
I'm sure I get a thumbs down already. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I gave us the thumbs up just to see if it will seed it. Maybe another thumbs up will come find it.
Did the live chat went on? I can't tell.
Yeah, it says, well, I see live on my end.
Okay.
Just clicked in. I see Maurice just jumped on.
Okay, let me launch the chat so I can see the chat. Welcome everybody to the Wednesday night chat. We can run as long as we want to because school's out. Anthony is he can stay up to midnight if he wants to.
Did your computer parts come in?
No. It's kind of weird, because I order everything together on the same day, but
yeah, they source it other places.
Well, most of the stuff came in yesterday. One came in today, and then we're still missing 2 pieces. So I told Anthony we can't. The most important piece is not here, the motherboard.
Yeah.
So I told Anthony until the motherboard get here, it mean nothing with the CPU and the cooling and the RAM and this and that. We can't do anything. we just have to leave it there and wait until the motherboard get here. So the only thing left is the motherboard and the case. The case is not a big deal. I'm not worrying about the case, but hello, Joker68. Maurice is here. Welcome. Hopefully Doc will wake up or come back from his walk with the little PD or something, and he would join us. I have a question from a viewer that this is not an easy question to answer. I have a hard time thinking about the answer. That's why I'm going to bring it up. I let you guys shine in what you think.
This is my deep thinking pose.
There you go.
Oh, look who's up.
Wow, Doc is here just in time.
Hey, ooh la la, mon frère.
Mon frère.
Howdy, y'all.
He's wearing his college professor gear.
Oldie but a goodie. I bet I've had this hat for 35 years.
I like it.
Okay, here's Doc just came in just in time. Nice of always here. Mike is here. Here's a question. Okay, I think this is not easy. This viewer have a low-grade FF1. And given how hot FF1 has been, he is asking if would we sell the FF1, put in some extra cash, and buy an Amazing Fantasy 15 instead of keeping the FF1? What would you 3 do? If you have an FF1,
which I already do.
But, how will you proceed?
Who wants to go first? Because I have follow-up questions. But
I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
If I had a low-grade FF1, which I do, but if I didn't, if I did and I didn't have the other book, I would definitely go for the AF-15. I would sell it, put a little extra in the pot, and try to get Amazing Fantasy 15. The reason why, a couple reasons. For me, Amazing Fantasy is more important to me because I'm more of a Spider-Man fan than a Fantastic Four fan. But I also think Amazing Fantasy, if we're thinking about value down the line, I think it may still edge out over Fantastic Four. Maybe a little bit, don't know.
I mean,
but I still think Amazing Fantasy does edge out if we're talking about investment, right? Yeah. Talking about personal and investment. I would go for Spider-Man because I like Spider-Man the best. And 2, I still think he's more of an investment than FF1. I think FF1 might cool off a little bit and just plateau for a little while. Whereas I think Amazing Fantasy will still be a little ahead.
Yeah, unless Marvel deal go through and then announce next year that they're going to come out with a big FF bomb, right? Then that might
Never
jump.
know.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Next.
Well, I agree with everything Anthony just said, really. I couldn't have said it better myself. But I would ask of the person with the question, does it matter which heroes or which book I mean, does one or the other mean more to you than another, or
I
does
think
that factor in at all? Because I mean, it really sounds like it's a question more geared toward what is the potential for future, investment with this thing. I guess it's just in my nature, because I've spent my collecting life kind of out of the realm of speculation and stuff like that. I value comic books as artifacts of things that I cherish and love, and I can't stop that. I have to throw my little perspective into that mix too. If you like Spider-Man more, go for the Spider-Man. Plus, you have the reasons that Anthony just gave too. If you are looking to, grow this book, grow the value of the book, I think Amazing Fantasy will always maintain its climb where good points were made about Fantastic Four, perhaps plateauing and things like that. But again, an old timer like me, I gotta love the character,
Yeah.
And frankly, that's kind of the reason I'm afraid to get an X-Men #1, because I'm afraid I will love it so much that I don't want to get rid of it. That is my biggest fear with that book.
Would that be so bad though, John, to get one just for yourself?
No, I suppose not.
But it does cancel out the reasons for investment. My thought on it is similar to what both you're saying. My first thought when I said I had questions were, if the person truly loves the Fantastic Four, there's another possibility. Sell your lower grade copy, put a little money towards, and get a nicer grade copy of Fantastic Four. But to Anthony's point, and to what Nick has repeated, AF-15, as far as rate of return, just speaking from a purely investment standpoint, it's going to be really hard to beat that as far as a Marvel book. Maybe a Showcase 4, something like that.
Yeah.
In the Silver Age, the rate of return in RB3, if he's on, can chime in on this, and if you watch his videos, you'll see it. The amount Fantastic Four is going to go up, but Amazing Fantasy is just it's like a rocket ship going up. So
yeah, the Fantastic Four is definitely going to, I think, continue to hold value. Absolutely.
They're not going to lose on either one, but I think the chances, if you're doing it purely for an investment reason, now would probably be the time to sell Fantastic Four, because I don't think speculation is going to be much higher than it is right now. Once a movie comes out, everyone's going to be in on it. But putting that money towards that and getting a decent AF-15, even a 2.5, because that's where the money is right now, is between 2 and 3. That 2s, 2.5s, and 3s is what everyone's buying. Because you get up to 4s and you're over 20 grand. So
yeah, maybe I'll go get a 2.0.
Yeah.
Hey, there might be.
And make sure you get it freshly slabbed, Anthony.
Do you think that matters?
I do. I would get a nice, clean, fresh slab.
Make sure CGC get the right address.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Oh, shit.
That's important.
Yeah, that would suck if they actually sent it to a different town.
But,
they would never do that.
Careful of is if you hand your CGC book off to the pretty eye candy girls they bring to the convention instead of the smart, ugly guys they keep in the basement at CGC.
I'll make sure I avoid her next time. Avoid her.
Or they send your book to someone else, and then you get someone's really stupid book.
Yeah, Sleepwalker 1, 9.8.
Been there, done that.
That's where the hot money is, by the way, Sleepwalker.
Thank you guys for your answer, because this person, I'm guessing, does not have the mean to have both. Okay, so it's one of those things where if he wants an AF-15 low grade, they need to get rid of the FF low grade and then hopefully get some cash. And I agree. I think FF1 big easy money has been made. Now, can it go higher? Absolutely. There are still room to go higher, but in the long run, 5 years, 10 years down the road, it's going to be the Amazing Fantasy 15 1.0 or 1.5 that's going to outpace an FF1 1.5. So I think it's just Spider-Man. It's just so much more love. And this is before the movie, before anything else. If you follow CGC census data, if you have CGC, GP analysis, they do a calculation that show what title, what character bought and sold the most on eBay or whatever site they keep track of as far as slab. And Spider-Man trumped everyone by multiple.
Yeah.
Okay, Spider-Man slabs bought and sold over the past 15, 20 years more than X-Men combined with FF.
think of just of his main title, including Amazing Fantasy. There's probably 20 slabs at any given point where there's 2,000-3,000 of them out there for sale.
Yeah, it's that's why, you know, from my viewpoint of selling a lot of Silver Age books over the past 5-6 years, I can tell you nothing sells faster than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay? Nothing sells faster than Spider-Man. There's no such thing as, gee, I can't sell this Silver Age Spider-Man book. No, it will go.
Nobody wants it.
Exactly. You know, people will overlook a lot of X-Men Silver Age because for the most part, they're not all that great. But you throw out any Ditko Spider-Man, low grade, boom, gone. You know what I mean? So trust me, it is highly loved, highly sought after, highly collected. So yes, so its consensus agreement is sell the FF1.
Get it slabbed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maximize profit. You got to go to CGC and get that thing slabbed.
Well, he has it
Be impressed if you can afford it.
Is it a 1.5, Nick?
I believe it's a 1.0.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't remember. I've seen it. He's on YouTube, but I'm not sure he want me to mention it.
Okay. Fair enough.
But it's a low grade book, and I think he made good money on it because he bought it for very cheap.
Yeah.
Hundreds, and I'm sure he can sell it for thousands now.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so I don't blame him for like wanting to sell it and then put another $5,000 and get a Amazing Fantasy 15 1.0.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great thing to do.
And it's especially great if he's a Spider-Man fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You get to own it and enjoy it while it appreciates in value.
Well, say hi to Azkaban, Thomas Churchill, Stephen Wilkinson, T.J. Watson, Comic with Bueller.
There's Bueller.
Even Cougar Comic is in the house.
Oh.
I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, so full house here. So
there's Dead Clone just jumped in.
Yes, and then as well as Goomba, all kind of people.
Oh, yeah, I saw Goomba earlier.
All
So
right.
anybody else have any more questions?
I have some from Down Under.
Okay.
First one from Errol, just in case if you haven't been following the show. What top 5 Silver and Bronze Age books are dead investments?
Oh. Nick, why don't you go first since you went last?
Okay.
Dead investments, both
Dead
silver and
investments.
bronze.
Oh,
Careful now.
I know which one's gonna say.
Before we go with this,
I know
get
which
the
one.
sign up.
I know-
Somebody
I know.
please get the sign up. There we go.
There you
What
go.
do you mean
John
you said
Hope,
that this
you're
is a dead investment? I spent big money on
Yes,
this.
both of you, you two both hold your signs up because this isn't going to go well. But go on. Okay,
Now, is it 5?
All right, I'm ready.
hold on. I'm going to do a scientific experiment here. We have 30 watchers right now. Let's see if you guys can get it down to 10 by the end of this.
After this question.
Now the question is it 5 total for both silver and bronze?
5 silver and 5 bronze that are
Oh my
dead.
goodness.
That we think are dead. I don't even know if I can. I don't think I could even answer this one. I'm not the professional that you guys are.
Well, you know, I think, okay, let me qualify my answer as far as dead money. By dead money, I say that the return is going to be low digit. Okay. You know, if you buy something and you're getting, like a 2 or 3% return, then it's dead money because that's inflation rate. Okay. That's like you can get that kind of return with savings account these days. So it's not like it's an investment. Okay. To me, if I buy a book for investment and it returned 2 or 3%, dead money. So I would
agree.
put as much as I love this character, I put Daredevil up there. I don't think Daredevil is gonna go anywhere fast as far as key second tier Marvel.
No.
You know, he's huge. You know, I mean, he's huge. But when it comes down to Daredevil, ooh, I have a Daredevil 1 8.0. So let me qualify that. Okay, it's not like as if I don't have a book, but I just
Oh, we already know why.
But you know, I think Daredevil 1 will be.
Of course, he has it.
List. As much as I love Doctor Strange, I throw Strange Tale 110 up there too because he's a niche character. You know, I mean, his movie, his success has not really done much of that book. If you follow the return of that book in the last 2 years, it topped out and basically flatline, if not going down. Even though it's great if he was in a movie, it's going down. A lot of people that bought that book 2 years ago are losing money. If not making money. Okay, so to me, that's dead money. So right there, DD1 and Strange Tale 110 is a top 2 for Silver Age. Oh my God!
It's a hard question. It's a hard question.
Very hard question.
Yeah, very hard. But I couldn't come up with anything else for Silver Age. You know, you can throw in a lot of the fantastic.
Tales of Suspense 57, Hawkeye. That's dead money, right?
Even as much I hate to say it, look at Avengers 57.
Oh, yeah.
Look at what's going on with that book in the last few weeks now that Vision is, spoiler alert, dead.
But now they're specting on the white Vision. You know.
Well, even when the Vision made it to the movie, it didn't do much.
Yeah.
It had a big initial run because he was going to be in the movie, but like many characters that's in the movie, unless you're Iron Man with Tale of Suspense 39, it's dead money. Okay, it's proven over and over again, as far as I'm concerned, that a lot of Silver Age, as Patrick mentioned, the Hawkeye first appearances, how about the first Black Widow?
Black Widow.
It's also dead money. Okay, it's
easy. I got 2 of those to sell.
Easy. Let's save it till after he sells them, then we'll call him down. Easy.
So there you go. That's my 5 Silver Age. Okay.
Where's that 5-second dump button like on the radio?
What about Bronze, Nick?
Bronze? Oh God. The reason
everything except for Incredible Hulk 181.
the hurl.
The Incredible. What was it, John? What do you call it, John? The Incredible what?
Voluntary hurl.
Now I will put in this book because they run up so much. Okay, I will put in this book because they run up so much that I don't think there's any room left above. There might be, another 5-10%, but eventually it's gonna be. Right now, the last year has been like this, and I think it's gonna be like this. Werewolf by Night 32.
Oh.
House of Secret 92, because that book is insane. Okay, I don't see a trajectory trend of House of Secret 92 like a Hulk 181, like it's ramped up and it's gonna go 10% plus a year for the next 10 years. Ain't gonna happen. Even though the talk of the TV show is coming.
Oh Christ.
Yes.
I'm sure yet another city film version or TV version of Swamp Thing is going to make the book explode, for about 5 days. And I still don't understand. I still don't understand how a shitty TV show or movie can make a book spike without having like a massive plummet afterwards. Like, why didn't okay, I get why FF45 spiked.
Yeah.
But because the movie was such an atrocity, why people didn't run FF45 out of town on a rail? Why not that reaction? If you're only going to react to the knowledge of the product and not acknowledge the product itself, is it just me? Am I getting sleepy and I'm starting to ramble and people aren't understanding me? But you know what I mean? There must be some. You have to at some point factor in the quality of the product. Yeah, there's a new Spider-Man movie. Yeah, well, what if it just completely sucks ass? Well, Spider-Man's not a good example, but Well, just not to beat on the Inhumans, but that's a pretty good example of just ridiculous execution.
Yeah.
And why people didn't start burning the Inhuman comics afterwards, I don't know.
I got lucky. I sold mine like 3 days after the trailer was released.
Ah, you were smart.
I had it up. I had it up a week ahead of time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got off topic there, folks. So.
No, it's no. But you're right, John.
As far
you
as
make a lot of
Bronze,
sense on that one.
you know, as far as Bronze, you know, once again, I have everything.
Well, of course you do.
But you know, to me, things like, you know, you could throw many first appearances as dead money, like Hero for Hire #1.
Oh. Oof.
Marvel Premiere 15. You know, like I said, it's easy for Bronze because to me, it's just like I have these books because I love the Bronze Age. But make no mistake, I own them because I love them. That's it. I'm not owning these books because they are gonna be great investments.
You could even say that for Giant Size X-Men 1.
I didn't leave out. Well, I think that book still have leg to run because the X-Men franchise have a lot of potential if Marvel ever finalize the deal.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as
a meteoric rise, you're just not going to see it.
You know, to me, I just don't see like the Marvel Premiere 15, the Hero for Hire 1.
They had their 15 minutes of fame, which was probably a lot more than they should have.
They were BC level character, and they will remain BC level character.
A big one is Iron Man 55. What happens to that soon?
Yeah, what do you think about Iron Man 55? Do you think that that's another one of them that after the next Avengers movie is going to possibly? I mean, I think we touched up on this, but do you think that's going to?
I'm done. You guys go ahead.
I think the book will retain what I guess I could call a false heat, a wishful thinking kind of heat. You know what I mean? Prices will stay up and, you know, just kind of plateau, maybe ripple a little bit now and again, but it's all going to be hype and wishful thinking for folks because, number one, it's a shitty comic book. From the cover to the art to the writing to the everything, it's a horrible comic book. But then again, I think most copies are in slabs now, so you can't fucking read it anyway, which is a good thing for that fucking book. What was I going to say? Yeah. Anyway, it's one of those books that the prices will be pushed up there because people are saying, I want my book to be valuable. It's Iron Man 55, for God's sakes. It has to be valuable, right? It has to be. So, come on, man. Go get yourself a nice Silver Surfer #1. Crack the fucker open and read it. Do yourself a favor, folks. The end.
All right. Well, you know, there's one small thing that I think about when I think about the Bronze Age. I think a lot of the collectors now, the Bronze Age for them is kind of like us older collectors, what the Silver Age for us.
Yeah.
Because the Silver Age, you know, if you're in your 20s and 30s, most of those books are going to be out of your price range where you're comfortable spending because you're just starting out your career. You have a family, you're trying to buy a house and stuff. So the Bronze Age for the modern collector, so they go after the first appearance of Sabretooth and characters like that because it can be a key for them in their collection. Yeah. And maybe those characters are more relevant in their world today than our Hawkeye and you know, Black Widow and people like that. I know they're in the movies, but I think that might be the only thing that keeps those from being dead money and where you will still see those rise. But I do agree that at some point they're going to plateau off, and everything always ends up where it's supposed to be. I mean, if you look at the first appearance of Ultron, that was always a decent book, but it never was what it should have been. Or if you look at was it X Factor 6 with Apocalypse. That was just stupid. The way that one was the first one for me that I really remember that this whole thing started with. It felt like to me. I mean, you always had Iron Man 55, but when X Factor 6 took off and people were paying $500-600 for that thing, that's when at least in my brain, I knew there was something really wrong.
Anybody who paid $500-600 for that book, 9.8, whatever, I pity them.
Yeah, I know.
Unless they sold it, unless they made a profit on it, unless they were the ones selling it for $500.
A lot of guys write it down. They write it up, and they just think it's going to go up forever, and then they write it back down to nothing.
I don't understand that, though. I mean, why some people still make the same mistakes. Just don't get it. You know?
We just gained 3 viewers, John. Bring Petey back.
Yeah.
I think he's just kind of getting rutchy because he wants to go for a walk or something.
Ah. Okay, so who's next?
I think
What was the question?
I think we already answered the question. I mean, I'm not going to come up with 5 silver, 5 bronze. I think it was answered.
Oh, that are we? Yeah, there's no way I can come up with it.
I pretty much agree. Yeah, I pretty much agree with what everybody said. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Common consensus that you wouldn't buy first appearance of Sabretooth to get rich. But like I said, some people would disagree, and guess what? If you disagree,
that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. In 20 years, when you're trying to sell that book and it's the same price as today, then you see why.
Yeah.
I have another question from Errol. Then we'll do something else. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 first print. Do you see this book as the AF-15 of the Copper era? Prices are exceeding Hulk 181. The rest of the question, it's the high grade Hulk 181s. But do you think the gist of the question is, do you see the first print of that book really as the AF-15 of the Copper Age? Do you think it's going to continue to grow? Do you think it's going to have so much potential down the line? If I were to pick up a 9.0 copy today, you think I'll be 10, 15 years from now writing that book to the bank? That sort of thing.
I think if they continue the franchise for future generations, it will maintain a level of desirability and collectability, and you'll see that reflected in the prices. But if the brand goes away today and there are no more cartoons, there's no more comic books, there's no more anything Turtles ever again, it'll be one of these things frozen in time for a particular age group of people that won't hold as much or won't generate as much interest for future collectors. They'll collect it as a spec book or whatever, but this desire for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 first press for a kid that's not going to be born for another 30 years, he's going to look at it, recognize it for what it is, but not really have any interest in it. But if the brand is still going on, if the franchise is still churning out product, again, for, the next generation or 2 or 3 or whatever, but having said all that, is it the AF-15 of the Copper Age? I think they're 2 different animals.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree, John.
I hate to compare books of one age to the next because it's really different. Speaking from my personal experience, okay, because I wanted a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle first print for the longest time since I returned to the hobby in 2008. I wanted something like an 8.0 or higher, and I can tell you, I miss out on so many books because it keep going higher. Okay, it keep churning higher, and I keep missing it because I keep saying, oh, it's gonna stop going up, it's gonna flatline, and the damn freaking book keep going higher. So I never bought a copy. I don't have one. Would I like to have one? Yes, but not at this crazy price. But when it comes down to comparison like this, I don't like it. It's just like, in sport, whenever someone says this is the next Michael Jordan, I'm like, there is no next Michael Jordan. LeBron James is amazing, crazy, and he is great. Is he better or worse? I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying that he's great. Michael's great, but I don't want to ever compare somebody to be the next Michael Jordan. It's living in Boston, I heard all the time about the next Larry Bird, this, blah, 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 blah. So I'm the anti next generation of anything. For sure, it is a highly sought after book, and I agree with Doc. You know, if they can keep it in the pop culture, so that the younger generation, because like I said, it's gonna come down to the next generation that give a damn. If not,
Right.
it's gonna be like you know, if not, it's gonna be like one of those rare golden age books that we like. Ooh,
Yeah.
Red Raven, woo!
An expensive curiosity.
I think it comes down to market. I mean, I would compare it to the EC crowd, where the books are valuable and expensive, but there isn't that huge a market for them.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah,
I think the Turtles. Go ahead, Patrick. Go ahead.
Well, I was
buddy.
saying, think of the other two big bronze books that I come to my mind: Amazing Spider-Man 129 and Hulk 181. The market size of those dwarfs the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crowd, for sure. So for it to be the AF-15 of the Bronze Age, it needs to have mass appeal, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is never going to have it.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Turtles does have appeal to now. There may be a very small number of people,
Yep,
but
very rabid, but they're not
they're
big.
out there. But there's people that may not have ever collected comic books as a kid, but now they're 35 years old and they're fanatically collecting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles memorabilia,
Sure.
T-shirts, figures, all that kind of stuff. So they just happen to want to add the comic books to their collection. Now there are a few of those out there too.
Yes.
So it does have that extra little pop culture thing behind it that a lot of mere mortal comic books don't, you know.
Well, speaking of collecting, for those that don't know, the Netflix series that have that toy.
Oh yeah.
Season 2 is out.
Yeah.
With Star Trek and Transformer, and I saw the first two,
I saw Star Trek and Transformers.
and I haven't watched Hello Kitty yet.
Nah.
I might not. I will watch it just for the sake of like, what is a phenomenon with Hello? But it's fun. It's fun. The Star Trek one was a blast because I'm just like, I didn't know this about Star Trek.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know it at all. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I didn't know anything about Mego and Star Trek.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Those Star Treks, good Lord, yes.
Yeah, those are classics. Nick.
I tell you, I was so out of the world as far as collecting figures. It never crossed my mind to buying or look for any one of these things.
Did any of you guys have the bridge where you push the button on the transporter and the guy would spin around? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. They did. They showed that on the show.
One year for Christmas, and we lost our marbles with that thing for weeks playing with it. Because then everyone came in. I remember putting the Human Torch in that thing. It's like, those were all the supplies.
It's enough for you.
I started that.
The only Mego place that I had was the Batcave.
Oh.
And the only Mego Star Trek figure I had was Mr. Spock. My friend Larry was into the Star Trek stuff. I had all the other Megos, you know, but I didn't have the Star Trek stuff.
After I watched that show last night, I almost had the urge to run to eBay and look for Mego Star Trek stuff because I'm just like, I want some.
People are complaining now that show is causing a spike in He-Man figures and all this other stuff, and I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That's
maybe Michael Dodd will start making videos again if that happens. I haven't seen him for a while.
Okay, so are we done with that question? Are we
I would think
that one. We beat that one up good, I think.
Yeah.
Well, the chat room is going well here. I used to own a Mego Mr. Spock. I mean, I would love to own a Mr. Spock and Kirk.
I had the black and white guy. What was this? Chiron, I think his name was?
Yeah, Beale and Lokai.
Yeah, I don't remember which one I had. I had one of them.
Yeah,
I had the lizard-headed guy.
Frank Gorshin.
Yeah, Frank Gorshin played the one of them.
Starting next week, I think next week or the week after is the big Comic Connect auction. For those that are not aware, Comic Connect is having a massive auction with Action 1 that are going for like over $1 million already. 1.6 million is an 8.5.
Wow.
How is that even possible?
Gorgeous. I mean, it's a beautiful book. Go if you haven't seen it. Go to Comic Connect and take a look at that big
I've
auction.
got his sign ready. I think he's going to say something offensive about Comic Connect.
Oh.
Yeah,
You
that
know-
sucks. Though that sucks. What happened?
You know, I'm not. I'm not going to bash Comic Connect.
Oh my God! I
Fuck.
got $5 from Silver Planet for the first time ever. Somebody donate $5 to ETA Nick Chat. Hello.
I hear Silver Planet is a handsome man. He has a great YouTube channel.
Silver Planet is a handsome man with an amazing YouTube channel. I want to say that every 5 minutes just to earn the $5.
Just have a
Alright.
Honor. I need to split that $5 with you three men.
All right.
Hey, you know what? That's enough. We can each get a copy of Sleepwalker 1.
And have some left over.
Wow. I mean, all these times, no one has ever given me a nickel. And wow, now I got a $5 donation. I am honored, Silver Planet. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's great, man.
I didn't know what that was. I got the chat up on my iPad and I saw this big green box pop up. I didn't know.
I was shocked for like a second. I'm like, $5?
Yeah.
My son will have a good kick out of it because he's just like, Dad, no one ever give you money. You're not very good.
Jeez.
Nobody like you. Did anybody buy anything?
I did. I actually won some stuff last night, but it isn't here yet. So
I know Doc got a couple books a couple days ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I showed those a couple of days ago, but nothing since. I don't even have anything coming in the mail.
I did get something in. Me and Mike got 3 boxes in today. So we got 75 slabs back.
Also, any updates on the missing box?
Yes, we got it. It came in today.
Okay.
CGC handled it wonderfully. They rushed it through. From the time they found it to the time they shipped it was about 5 days, I think.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Bianchi, before we do, Bianchi 1885 asked, he wants us to talk about our first Comic-Con experience. What year, where it was, what was our impression? So anybody want to share what your
That could be an entire show.
Well, real quick, let's go down the line real quick. Patrick, what's your first con?
Okay, my first real con, not these little shows like they have at the VFW and stuff where there's like people walking around and they had Kit, the car there, and they had Robbie the Robot. It was Rochester Con in 2015. That was the first time I'd ever been to a real con.
Okay. How about you, Doc?
I don't think what I've been to would qualify as real cons. They were just
You hate it.
local. Well, I'm not even going to talk about that nonsense from earlier this year. But going back to the 90s, at the ones that I would set up at in the Harrisburg area at like the Holiday Inn and the Best Western and stuff like that, it was like one big convention room. You know, that's the biggest I've ever been. You know, I've never been to New York or Philadelphia or any place like that. So and the earliest one was probably late 80s or early 90s. I really can't remember.
Wow. I'm surprised I might be the one with the earliest con.
Mhm.
Probably.
Yeah. How about you, Anthony?
Well, like Patrick, I used to go to smaller cons all the time back in the early 90s, but my first really big con was in 2014. I went to the Garden State Con where I met Chris Claremont, and I talked with him for a little bit, and he signed one of my X-Men books, and I laughed with him and joked with him, and it was a pretty good experience. And my wife, I believe that was the con where my wife made the comment, "Let's get out of this freak show."
Is that when you got down to the
She hasn't been with she hasn't been with me to a con since, but she's going to be making her second appearance in Charlotte.
Charlotte? Oh, good.
That's 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks or 3 weeks.
Well, my first con was in Albany, New York, 1984.
Wow.
Well,
my beginning of my senior year in high school, and that's when I met John Byrne. My famous story of meeting John Byrne and get his signature at the Holiday Inn. It was at the Holiday Inn, and it was so dead. My God, I think I can count all the people in there with both hands. It was John Byrne was sitting there drinking coffee, bored out of his mind. You know, and I was too young, too scared, too timid to ask for a sketch, because I'm sure he would have done it. He was just sitting there doodling, and here I was, oh, can you sign this, please? That was it. I didn't even shake his hand or anything. I mean, that was pathetic. You know, I'm like, well, at that point, he was everything to me. You know, I mean, so I'm just like,
you didn't say something like your artwork isn't any good without Terry Austin's inks.
Yeah. Think of Mr. John Byrne. He is appearing at the con shortly in Canada to promote his Star Trek book with William Shatner. And the rumor is he is signing things, but he will refuse to sign anything but the Star Trek book.
Oh, man.
So anybody that wants John Byrne's signature on their X-Men, you might have to do a switcheroo. Come up there with a Star Trek book, and then just slip.
I always wondered if I took, because I have some of the Space 1999s, the Charlton books, and some of his first artwork. I wonder if he would sign those.
But from what I heard, if you go to the CGC forum, there's a big discussion, and somebody I read earlier today that he said that he will not sign any Charlton, any DC, any Marvel, anything but Star Trek.
That's too bad. I don't, you know, hey, we're all different people and all, but I don't understand, you know, just put it in front of me, man. If I drew it, I'll sign it.
Yeah.
Howler Mouse is here, and Howler Mouse saying he's going to HeroCon, so you might see him in HeroCon.
All right, look us up.
So Tim, if you see Anthony as well as Patrick, say hi, do a selfie, Instagram.
Alan from After Comics is going to be there too.
Who's that, Patrick?
Ryan Space Boy's down there too, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's down that way. I don't know if Steve from Charlton 66, if he's going. He's down he's in Virginia, isn't he?
I don't know who that is.
Well, anybody in the chat room, if you are going, besides
I don't know who it is.
Let us know, because you can't miss Patrick and Anthony, two handsome tall guy like this. You know,
superstars.
Just look for Alan. Alan's 6'7". He'll stick.
Yeah, he dwarfs us both.
Andre the Giant.
Alan the Giant.
I call him After the Giant.
It should be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I wish I can go, guys. I'm so busy. I'm like, can't do it.
Have your iPhone ready. We'll FaceTime you.
Yeah, I mean, I will have my phone ready. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here. I'm working.
We have your want list, so if we see it, we'll send it to you.
Okay.
We got quite a network going. Everyone knows what each other wants now. So if we come across it, I'm always texting Anthony something, or he'll send me something, and Mike will send me something, and we got this whole thing going on.
Yeah, we got a network going on.
It was a couple weekends ago. We had like 3 different cons all covered, and we were messaging each other as we were finding stuff.
Well, Bianchi is also going to HeroCon.
All right. A lot of these guys, I don't know what they look like. I know what Howler Mouse looks like because he's on front of the camera, but a lot of these guys, I guess if they just hold their hands out, I'll be able to tell who they are.
My first con was 1979, Bianchi said. New York Comic Art. I was not even in the US yet, my friend. 1979. Most likely, I was what months in 1979? I can tell you exactly where I was, because I left Vietnam in 1979, May of 1979.
Weren't
so
you
I was likely in the refugee
island,
camp
right?
in 1979. Like I said, Deadpool is here as well. I just saw Deadpool video last night where he showed a whole bunch of early Silver Age X-Men that he got. Congratulations on almost finishing your X-Men run. Or July 1979, Bianchi, I was in Indonesia at that time. I was deep in refugee camp at that moment of my life. Yes, misery. Trust me, it was pure misery.
Summer of '79.
Yes, summer of 1979, I was in the refugee camp, and not until March of 1980 was I in the U.S. Yes.
Where were you, Patrick, in July of 1979?
Oh, I was in the backyard, probably laying on my grandparents' glider, reading comic books and drinking RC Cola.
What about you, John?
Probably playing a lot of foosball and pinball, either at the mall or at our local pizza shop.
I'm telling you, I wish if the only reason why I would want a bigger house is to have a room for foosball and pinball and old video game machine. You know, my man cave is just not big enough to put anything else in here. But
our deli on the corner had an old Gorf machine, and I freaking love that thing.
Yeah, I love the
music still. Oh, Gorf is awesome.
You know, the one thing about pinball, maybe you guys can educate me a little bit. We're going to go off tangent a little bit here before we go off. When I was in Vietnam growing up, okay, there was pinball machine, but not like the pinball that we have here. Where the pinball machine that had this little hole where the ball will sit in it. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like, it's kind of weird because you play pinball, but there's also all this little hole where the ball would like sit halfway in it, and you're trying to line them up. It's
Oh, isn't that what's that called? I know what you're talking about.
That's called something else.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh hell! What?
There was a game called Frenzy when I was a kid. It was like that.
But when I was in Vietnam, we see a lot of those games because it's like pinball, but you get more balls and you're trying to line.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I just can't. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it.
I'm telling you, I would love to buy one of those games because when I was in Vietnam, that was the bomb. Okay, I was going to go to any place to play. It would be either foosball or that pinball thing because it was just like so much fun. That if anything brought me to any kind of childhood memory in Vietnam, it's that pinball machine thingy.
I would like miniature pinball by Parker Brothers. Do you remember the mini pinball?
Oh, the mini one, sure, yeah.
The plastic one. I still have it, and man, we played the hell out of that thing too.
Well, I sure would love to have a full-size Bally Cleopatra machine.
Wow.
I think it came out in 1978 or 79, and that's my all-time favorite machine, pinball machine.
Yeah. Yeah, pinball was
I was a pinball wizard. When I was 15 years old, I destroyed everything that came near me. That's the fact. I was the king. This teenage kid at the game room. I was the one to beat.
Yeah, I was never good at any of those machines.
Many tried, one or two succeeded, but I was the pinball wizard, man.
Yeah, I was never.
One that I got addicted to was Empire Strikes Back, where you actually sat inside of it. And it was like a dot matrix game. The graphics were terrible.
Yes, I know exactly.
I played that game just an insane amount of times.
That's not the same one as the Star Wars one where you fly down the tunnel.
This one, you had to blow up the Death Star.
Yeah. It's you fly down the blue, the green tunnel.
That's it.
Oh my God, I played that. There was a retro gaming place near here. A few years ago, and when Anthony was like 5-6 years old, I took him there, and he loved that game. Oh my God, we played that.
That game is unbelievable. I don't know if they have those anywhere, but
they still have it. They still have it. If you go to some of the retro, one other thing I missed in Orlando. Too bad for you, Anthony. They took it away. But for years, if not for a decade, in Orlando, there's a place called Galaxy Quest or something like that. It's like a 5-story or 4-story arcade. Okay? In Orlando, you play a flat fee, like $60 or whatever, right? And inside is every video game that you ever seen in 4 floors. And I go there with my wife and Anthony when he was like 4 or 5 years old, and we play Dick Duck, we play Pac-Man, we play we play. Oh my God, it was insane because we would pay like $80 for a family of 3, and we would spend all like 5 hours in there playing, eating burger and fries, and then they tore it down to build a basketball stadium.
Ugh, none of that outdoor shit.
Back in the 80s, if you were the first one to get to Putt-Putt or one of those places, and you got your pizza and your Coke, and you got to sit at the Miss Pac-Man table, that was it.
Nick, we have something like that
Miss
here.
Pac-Man table, everything else that night went smooth.
Nick, across the street from Jay and Silent Bob's, not directly across the street, but on the same road, there is exactly what you're talking about, where you pay a certain amount, and you could play anything you want. It has tons of old retro games that you were describing, games that were from my generation, like the old Nintendo Donkey Kong, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all that stuff. You could play whatever you want, and there is something like that in Red Bank.
It's fun as hell. I mean, we would drive to Orlando just for that because we would take all the nephews with us. Because I'm just like, where can you go and play like 50 game of Pac-Man without having to pay? Just play. It's fantastic. I love it. I miss that place when I heard they closed it down. Just like, oh.
Did you ever see that documentary King of Kong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good. Do you hear about the controversy that happened with it?
I heard. I'm glad because
me too. Yeah, that guy's an asshole.
I hated that guy. He was so arrogant. He's such an It's nothing wrong with being arrogant, but he was an a-hole.
Yeah, he was just downright horrible.
He didn't have to be arrogant. He's already an a-hole. We got 5-6 more minutes left. It's 7:53, 7:54. Let's see. I'm looking at that here. Joker68 said, "My brother's best friend dad had a kiss and an Evel Knievel."
Oh, Evel Knievel was a great pinball game.
Machine. Oh, yes, I have played that. I have played the Evel Knievel as well.
It had really, really good low end.
I'm telling you, if you ever watch American Picker, there was one episode where they went to this warehouse of like broken machine, and this place is like had rows and rows and rows of pinball machine that are broken, that was need fixing. But I guess if your machine is broken, they take it. But they got like hundreds. It was insane. It was such a fun episode to watch because they walk through it. You see them. They have $6 million man. It's like every pop culture TV show was Look of Hazard, pinball machine, Kiss.
Yeah, there's actually a place like that here, not too far from where I am in Pennsylvania, maybe 45 minutes or an hour away. But they recondition and repair and sell classic pinball machines. As a matter of fact, I did even inquire with them once if they had the Bally Cleopatra machine, or not Cleopatra, Matahari it's called. I asked them if they had the Matahari machine, and they had 2 completely refurbished machines. And they're not expensive. I think they were less than $1,000. I thought about it, man. I thought,
sounds like you should get one to me.
Well, I mean, I never leave the house now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but other people would actually come and visit you to play it.
John, I was in Lancaster yesterday. I was in Lancaster.
What's that?
How far? I was in Lancaster yesterday. How far is that from you?
Oh my God, it's 20 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
That's right down the road, man.
Yeah, I was in Lancaster the other day. My wife and
I wish I'd have known that, man.
Yeah, I would have. I didn't know how far away you were from there, but then I was like,
oh my goodness, I'm literally 20 miles away.
Well, next time we go, I'll let you know. Maybe we can.
That's like my house to CCC headquarters.
Wow. Yeah, next time I'm down there, I'll let you know. Maybe we'll get.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, folks, if there's any like I said, we don't have to end the show in 1 hour, but I will keep on running the show as long as people want to stick around. I'm not sure if Tim having his show tonight. They don't run weekly show.
Do you want to do another question? I have another question.
Sure, another question's fine.
Yeah, okay, let's see. I got another. Let me see. I got a couple. Let me see which one we can do. But this one really touches this one. This one just touches up perfectly on what Patrick was saying earlier. Basically, do you think the younger generation of collectors today are going to want more modern or copper books because the silver and bronze age keys are getting out of reach? Patrick pretty much answered that one pretty well earlier. Oh, he has one for you, John. He has one from you. This is for Dr. Von Chilla. My opinion, Hulk 180 is and will always be Wolverine's first appearance. Cameo isn't what you clearly see. The cameo isn't exactly what you see. Unlike Jimmy Olsen 134. I guess it really wasn't a question. It was just something.
It's a statement for John.
It's a statement for John.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, yeah, you know, I'm in the Hulk 180 camp.
Yeah. Me.
And,
yeah.
But yeah, it is a strange kind of gray area that it's really polarizing topic. Some people are just adamant about what they consider to be the actual true first appearances and things like that. And you know, I'm just as adamant. I think I care less is what it really comes down to. But yeah, Hulk 180 is the first appearance of the Wolverine.
It is.
So I mean, it does have a big panel with the full figure and him screaming and leaping. If that's not a fucking first appearance, I don't know what is. You know. Yeah. But you know, that's just my opinion.
I agree. Here's a question. This is one. When do you think key Silver Age books will become too expensive for the average collector, as what Golden Age key books are today for most? When do you
think they're already too expensive for the average collector?
Yeah,
I think within 5 years they will be.
Yeah, I say to myself today, like those that are just getting into comic book collecting today, unless you're rich and you want all those key Silver Age appearances like Amazing Fantasy 15, Showcase 4, I pity you because you're gonna be disappointed if that's what you're chasing after.
Or you're only gonna have one.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna have Amazing Fantasy 15, and then
choose your favorite or whatever.
New stuff. Yeah. So it's too bad. As a collector, I wish they were affordable for everybody, but it's like every other hobby out there.
If they were affordable for everybody, they wouldn't be as collectable. They'd still be meaningful. They would be meaningful, I think, because of what they are.
I mean, I remember before the first time I remember seeing comics be sold, and I think I've talked about this before. I hadn't sold a comic book till like 2013 ever in my life. I traded, but I never sold a comic book. And you hardly ever hear people trading anymore.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm a wheeler dealer from way back. I started selling books, trading and selling books way back in the 70s. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was a school kid when I started selling my books and stuff.
Yeah, it was always a trading thing for me, and you could get nice books, and you didn't care as much about condition either. I think that's another part of anything that's come along, because you took your books everywhere with you, under your arm. You took them in your backpack. I can remember in a laundry basket, going out and laying underneath a tree with the AM radio playing. People would be terrified to do that now. I see kids now, they get their books at the comic store already slipped into a bag and a board. They're never going to read that book. They're paying $10 for Spider-Man 800 for $10. And
is that what it's going for?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's $10, isn't it?
I don't know.
I won't be buying one, but.
Oh my god!
All right,
I'll pass. Thanks on that one.
I agree. I think the Silver Age books has already went crazy already.
Yeah,
it's just not. I don't know how people can afford 5 figures book without going to debt. It's just not. When from a financial.
Oh, I think a lot are going into debt, Nick.
Yeah, because I'm in the financial business, and I talk to a lot of people that are managing, portfolio and all that stuff. And we hear all the time where the average American have less than $20,000 in their savings in their 50s, things like that. And so I'm just like, how does guys in their 30s buying $10,000 comic books? So I'm not sure how they're doing it, if they're buying it on credit card or on payment plan or whatever. It's to me, it's already crazy. But that does not mean that it's going to crash. Okay, it's just it's hard for me to explain the dynamic of the market where a lot of people. I have this debate or discussion with a lot of collectors talk about the crash. When is the crash going to come? And we talked about this a little bit last week with John saying, barring economic collapse, it's not going to force anyone. Asset only collapse when people are forced to sell. Okay, the housing market didn't crash because too many people are borrowing money that they don't have to buy houses. It crashed when they can't keep up the payment and they had to force to sell. And when a whole bunch of them are forced to sell and foreclosure, that's when the market just fall all over itself.
They never should have had those loans in the first place. But
and then when it comes down to comic book, the reason why it didn't crash, it flatlined pretty much in 2010 and 2011 because a lot of people that buy these things, for the most part, back then, you're talking 7-8 years ago, are not leveraging up.
Nope.
There was not a whole lot of collector with deep pocket to say, gee, I got to sell my Amazing Fantasy 15 now because I got to make a mortgage payment. Is that different today? I don't know. Okay, I don't know who is out there buying Amazing Fantasy 15 for $20,000 and can they afford to keep it if they lose their job? Okay, that's the big question that we need we will find out the answer. Should a recession come 3 years from now, 5 years from now, when you are forced to sell, when a whole bunch of people are forced to sell because they had to make car payment, house payment, all that stuff, then we see how the market hold up. But until there are a forced sales force, we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, because
and God forbid something really savage happens in the world, like another world war or something like that. That entire economies are collapsing and things. Boy, that would be.
I think the biggest difference between what people perceive as a bubble now and what was back in the 90s. In the 90s, it was people that weren't really into comics so much, and they were buying new stuff. Now, this perceived bubble that people keep talking about is going to burst. It's in vintage comics. And I think because of what they are, I don't think that bubble is ever going to burst. You may not see as fast a rise as a price, but you're never going to be able to see a Fantastic Four and pick it up for $400 like you used to be able to.
Yeah, but you remember, did I ever tell you guys a story to what you're saying, Patrick? Did I ever tell you guys a story? When I first started collecting, I was in high school, and we had a substitute teacher. Well, not a substitute teacher; he was a student. He was a student teacher, and he would talk to me about comic books. And he says, "Oh, wow, you're into comic books?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just started getting into them." He's like, "Me too." The next day, he came in with a small box, and he showed me all number ones he was buying. He had like 10 Cable number ones, 10 Spider-Man 2099 number ones, 10 this, 10 that, and I said, "Oh, you're buying all number ones?" He's like, "Yeah, these are going to be worth a lot of money pretty soon." I was like, "Oh, okay." That was it. But that touches up what Patrick was saying. Somebody who was just thinking that this was wasn't into comics, didn't know the first thing about them, but it was just into them, thinking that these things were going to be valuable, not knowing that there were a ton of these books out there.
There's a bunch of guys like him thinking the same thing. It basically was Beanie Baby syndrome back there.
Well, I think what's scary, much scarier than comics.
Crack me up, Patrick.
No, I mean, trust me, the Bitcoin mania is 10 times worse.
Oh my God, that scares me.
Yeah,
that's scary stuff. Yeah.
That when I hear my nephew, who is in college right now, he's 21, he's a junior in college, talking about how him and his buddy in school are trading Bitcoin all day long with their cell phone, that sounds fucking nuts. Okay.
Yeah.
I tell him, good luck. When you blow out all your savings, don't come crying to uncle.
You know what Bitcoin reminds me of? Do you ever remember watching the Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner? And Wile E. Coyote's trying to go across the canyon by nailing boards, and he gets to that last board, and the first nail pops out. That's Bitcoin to me.
Oh wow, that's one hell of an image.
No, that's I never thought of like a Wile E. Coyote analogy, you know, for Bitcoin. Good on you,
Patrick.
It's my dementia, so it's just that's how all this works up here.
Yeah, you know, so like I said, you know, Bianchi said that a recession could be here sooner. Europe is on the shaky legs. Europe had been on shaky legs for a long time.
Yeah, no, he's
I
right.
don't want to get into all that. Europe is a mess, boy.
It's a mess. I'm all for that mess. You know, I'm one of these guys that say, you know, break it up, break up the euro. I want chaos.
Hell yeah.
You know,
Don't get me started.
yes.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, you know, if Brooke from the UK is here, he would be thumbing us down right now because he's one of those millennium that think that everybody should be kumbaya holding hands.
Well, they should, but they won't.
They
So
won't. You know, I mean, it's youthful naivete.
yeah, it's idealism, and it sounds terrific, and it's wishful thinking.
Well, yeah, like I said,
It's not going to happen.
No.
You know, I mean,
Human beings are not geared that way.
That's right, John.
It's
agree
like
100%.
communism sounds great on paper until you start trying to make it in real life.
Yeah.
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 You know? The brain surgeon is not going to buy into the guy that digs ditches should get as much money as him.
Well, I stepped away from the screen because I want to show you what I bought the last week that I thought is a cool item. Thankfully,
I thought you turned into the Vanisher that whole time.
this is not a big deal items by any means for most people, but for me, it has been something I'm looking for. I have seen a few copies here and there for sales, way too expensive, but I finally got one that I felt was in a reasonable price. Let me show you what it is. It's an ash can.
Ooh, okay. Now, why was that the first thing that entered my mind as soon as you said ash can? That was a lucky guess on my behalf, I suppose.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely delicious, man.
Yes, and
Wow.
you know, who knows if this is the real deal or if a fake copy, who knows? That's why I have always been very leery to pay up for this ash can because it's so easy to replicate.
Yeah, and there are tons of them out there.
The only
Manufactured
reason,
way back in the day, yeah.
the only reason where I felt comfortable paying for this copy after years and years and years of looking, well, I wouldn't say years, about maybe 8 years since I go into horror magazine, is that most fake copy are so white, you know, because they photocopy with brand new paper.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this copy is very yellow from being aged for 30 plus 40 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the owner told me that he actually brought it to the man himself to verify, and it was verified. And he, the person that sold this to me bought it for a lot more money. You know, and he's like, you know, after having this since the 80s, you can have it here, you know. I don't need it anymore. And here, I make an offer. He say it's a lot less than what I paid for, but you can have it. I had it for 40 plus years, or 30 plus years. What the heck? Why would I want it anymore? You know. So, but like I said, it's yellow. It has sun. It has a little sun shadow as well. So I'm just like, I can go with this as a legit.
Yeah.
Instead of like a brand new spanking white copy on eBay.
Right. It's got that patina to it, man.
Yeah, it had that
Local value stamp book I picked up, the same reason.
Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this. Now my Erie collection is complete.
Well, that's great, man. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've long loved that thing, and I was always scared away from it too, just because it was very pricey. Even the quality reprints are pricey.
Yeah.
So I never bothered to pick one up. So
now Goomba had a copy that he bought for cheap. That was also a first print that he got it for $200.
yeah, he showed that here just a few months ago, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much. Goomba, you still here? How much did you?
He said, "Does it have purple staples?" What's that mean?
I think the reprint has like a blue. Have one of the staple that is.
Yeah, it's all ringing bells. It's been so many years since I've heard the details of how to identify.
Goomba paid $80 for his and sold his for over $600.
Nice.
Wow.
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
Woo!
But no, it does not have the purple staple. There's a copy right now on eBay with a rusty staple.
Oh, my favorite. I love Rusty Staples.
No one here, no one in this chat likes Rusty Staples.
Yeah, there's a copy with two rusty staples.
Oh,
And
two for the price of one.
And he asking like $500.
I don't think so.
And I'm like, no, I'm paying a lot less for mine with no rusty staple. Thank you.
And you got a good story with yours.
Yes.
Yeah, and well, what about the copy that has two rusty staples and then two added staples, which are also rusty?
It'll get a 2-0. I watched. It'll get a 2-0.
God.
Yeah, Nick, what's the grade going to be on that?
Definitely not restoration.
But wait a minute. I thought
Blue label.
I thought, what's the difference?
No, so I got a couple of few other cool things I can show. Nothing big. Now I'm not signature collector. Okay, I'm not. But when I saw this book, I know I got to have it.
Oh, got to have.
Gotta have it. It's a sit-bit moment. Okay.
Gil Kane.
It's oh
Oh man. John's on fire.
Okay, but you're half right.
Okay.
It has Dave Cockrum signature in gold.
Oh,
All right.
that's pretty slick.
Yeah, so I like Dave Cockrum signature because it's very legible. You can read it, and it's a beautiful high-grade copy as well. And
Yeah, I like it because it doesn't include the art.
yeah, it's beautiful. Look at that.
No.
I think if I do get anyone ever to sign one of my books, I'll just have them sign the back.
Yeah, so like I said, when I saw this, like I said, I'm not looking for signature, but I'm like, hey, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Why would I let this book pass by me for some other people?
Yeah,
I'm like,
no way.
I'm gonna buy it and keep it for myself. I'm not gonna let any grubby hand get on this.
Salty earth.
Certified signature. No, it's gonna stay raw for me to enjoy. Yeah.
That's the best way. Raw.
So yeah, and John, I do have a Gil Kane signature as well.
Oh, you do?
I do.
John has a
good on one this week.
John has a Johnny Craig signature, right?
I know.
Lucky
And a
guy.
Gil Kane.
The question is, it's been so long since I saw my Gil Kane signature. I can't remember what book it's in.
Is it in the vault?
Good luck with that because he drew every cover in the 70s.
Oh, I know what it is.
What?
Premiere 15.
Is it
What
really?
is it? What is it?
Is it Marvel Premiere 15? Yeah.
Oh, that's a hot book, I hear.
It's
Yeah,
even
wow.
hotter now.
I hear it was in season 2. Nick, you should get that book.
You guys can keep talking and let me find that book.
No. Go to the cabinets.
Well, you know what? Gil Kane, I know a little bit about Gil Kane.
Just a little.
And I just a little bit. And I have to say that Marvel Premiere 15 is a Gil Kane masterpiece. Y'all are familiar with the inside. Well, not only just the great cover, but the inside art of that book. That is a masterpiece work.
I love Gil Kane. Ever since
It's a stunning book.
Yeah.
It's just a stunner. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah. Is it me,
Wow.
or is it that Gil Kane really didn't get as much credit as he deserves over the up until about maybe up like during that era, like not like a Neil Adams sort of credit until maybe many years later.
I like to think that it's just familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah.
That's one way to look at it, right?
Yeah.
And it was just this thing. Gil Kane was everywhere for so long.
Yeah.
That Gil Kane almost became like a fact of life in a way. You always knew he was going to be there, and you just start taking this for granted,
Yeah.
So I think there might be a little bit of that too in there, because again, like I was saying in one of my videos, I think here a few weeks ago, or maybe I was saying on the chat, hell, I was saying to somebody somewhere that if you really start thinking about the number of covers that Kane did on the keys of particularly the Bronze Age, it starts to boggle your mind a little bit. Oh, you go, oh, that one too. Oh my God, he did that. But when you're talking about the books themselves, nobody, it rarely gets said. Oh, let's mention the classic Gil Kane cover. You never hear that. It's the first appearance of this person or that or this or that, but no one ever says, and let's not forget the classic Gil Kane cover. But there are so many of them, Gil Kane covers on so many keys out there. It's crazy,
Yeah, it really is.
But,
you know what I think it might be is his contemporaries of the time had very stylized art form. If you look at like Steranko, and if you look at some of the others out there that were more flashy, I guess, it kind of had like you knew right away when you were looking at it that you were looking at that particular artist. Where Gil Kane's stuff to me is just the anatomy and the movement is so perfect that you almost forget that it's a style at all, that it just looks right. And I think for me as a kid, that's why I think you just don't notice it. You don't notice that there's something bad about it, but you also don't notice there was nothing quirky or strange like Steranko or Adams or some of the other ones of the same period.
Oh, look,
right.
Nick is gone.
Oh, wait. Yeah, what is that? Let me see. Oh.
Did he sign Gil Kane or his real name?
Gil Kane and Dick and Roy Thomas.
Oh,
There we go. Wow. Wow. Oh, I just got a little chill up my back.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Here's great.
There's that investment book.
Talking about sit-bit moment, I'm like, I'm buying this mofo.
I love that they're
And nobody's gonna stop.
That's
I'm not
awesome.
letting any mofo touching that book and
Nope.
slapping that thing.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the
I
best
said
place.
it a moment ago, and I'll say it again now, that is a Gil Kane masterpiece of a book.
Yes, beautiful.
So I'm glad it is considered a key now, because it deserves that kind of attention, whether Iron Fist was a shitty TV show or not.
Yeah,
That's
well, since I'm in the mood to show some signature, I figure I dig out one more.
Oh, uh-oh.
Oh, here comes the Frank Frazetta.
No.
break out that Frank Robbins signature that I can't wait to see.
I'll show everybody my Liefeld signature in a moment. So,
Hey, man, I got Eric Larson, man.
Oh,
Fuck that, bitches.
What do we got here? What do we got here? I can't see.
I have no idea if that's the legit or fake or anything.
Oh.
I don't think a Frank Miller signature is.
Okay.
Oh, wait, open it up. Let's see.
That looks like a period signature, Nick.
Yeah,
I mean, I can barely. There we go. I couldn't wait. No, it might be more modern.
you know,
He got less legible as the years went on.
yeah. I mean, there was a time where it was much more legible,
Yeah, exactly.
but by the after 2000, it now it's just like F and F.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have a I don't know. I have a Frank Miller signature. I don't know if it's real or not. I just bought the book and I saw it on the inside. Maybe I'll send you scans of it, but I doubt it. I don't know what the hell it is with his
Is
signature.
it a Daredevil book?
Yeah, it's Daredevil 158.
Yeah, I bought this. I didn't pay a lot for it, because the seller was just like, I have no idea if that's real or not, but whatever. I think I paid something like $15 many years ago. Something.
Wow.
So
Let me see if I can dig it out. I'll be right back. I think it's
a lot of digging out tonight.
I know, what the hell, right?
Well,
yeah, I'm thinking about what can I go dig out real quick, but I'm too damn lazy.
So I got like I said, so I don't collect signature, but when I saw the few that I saw was so nice, I'm just like, I'm gonna buy it. And I'm glad I did. It's not no, the seller to that X-Men 95 actually had 4 copy with Dave Cockrum signature on the logo in gold, and I missed out on X-Men 101.
Oh
wow.
Yeah.
Now this wasn't sold as a Frank Miller signature book. It just, I opened it up and it had something in it, but I think it's fake. But let's see. Yeah, I don't think this is real. But this is what I got. Got the
Oh. Let me blow you up. Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I could not tell you if that was real or not. But
I couldn't either.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I heard
I'm
it's,
not either, so
but whatever.
it's good to tell,
There's an easy way of finding out, I
I
guess.
got John Byrne. I got Jack Kirby.
Ah, that's awesome. Jack Kirby.
Kirby's a great one.
I want to see Johnny Craig.
I know, John.
yeah, there you go. I will dig that out here, and I'll
What was
either
it
show it in my next video or on the next chat. Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he was actually at one of those Harrisburg cons that I was set up at, and it was late in the afternoon and it was kind of dead, and I finally got a chance to kind of walk over and talk to him for a little while, and I bought a copy of, they did kind of the magazine-sized EC reprints.
Yeah. I remember
Cardboard
those.
covers. I think they had a $3.95 cover price.
Yeah.
Well, the one that I got was the reprint of that Shock Suspense Stories I got with the suicide cover.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I had him sign it on the first page.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's a great cover. Oh,
yeah,
somebody. I said it before in one of my EC videos. The horror books of EC. Usually, when you talk about controversy, people think of those, but it's really those crime covers.
crime books. Whoa, my goodness.
Those were the ones that were really that rattled society.
Yeah,
The suicide cover, the decapitation cover, all that stuff was just, I think,
the drowning covers.
yeah, you name it, one after the other, all in those crime books. And the Shock, and you got Shock, which is you got the infamous Wally Wood number 6.
Yeah.
My favorite Shock Suspense is when the guy's chucking the girl off the roller coaster.
You were with
Actually,
you bought that when we went to that too.
I know. I got the reprint of it. That cover, to me,
I was with you when you got it.
I know, but just think of the time. I mean, it's just such a brutal act, I mean, I understand the guy committing suicide and stuff like that, and
That's crazy. That cover.
the guy shooting up and the guy chopping his wife's head off or whatever. But that one is just, especially at the time when that came out. I mean, that
How
was
the hell that get through?
Yeah, Jan and Dean weren't writing songs about chucking your girlfriend off the roller coaster.
All right, guys, but listen, I gotta get going. I gotta.
You got
Little Reaper's at the door, and
the Reaper's at the door.
but I gotta get going, everybody.
One more
Anthony.
for the road.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right, see you, Anthony.
See ya.
One more before we all shut off. This is one for you, Doc.
Oh, it's great.
Yay.
Yeah, another Gil Kane. And then this one has, can you guess the signature?
John Byrne. John Byrne.
I can't see it.
Yeah, it's John Byrne. Yeah.
There you go.
That's a nice big signature too.
I know.
Yeah, that's a very impressive. Yeah.
So that's it, folks. We called it the night.
That's a good Gil Kane cover, but I think that cover on the Defenders I like better with the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, this one's pretty good.
Yeah, that Defenders Wrecking Crew cover is great. Yeah, they're both great.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
goodness,
is
yeah.
definitely one of Kane's better Iron Fist cover for sure.
hmm
I love it. That's
Yeah,
why
I concur.
It's superb, and it has a giant, not just giant John Byrne signature.
No, it's what I'm saying. It's nice and big and legible.
Yeah, so, and that's it, folks. Thank you for tuning in.
All right, y'all.
Time for all of us to turn to pumpkins.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know.
half an hour, I'll be in bed. So
Good night.
wrap my day up here.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good.
All right, see y'all later.
Good tight,